Why don't you go watch some fake internet ready hologram tour instead of dealing with the rat beast like these kids are doing now. And yeah, I'm talking about Hatsune Miku. The Her concert is doing big and her tour is selling out at $225 a pop. Basically, this is a computer generated avatar. And I assume they're adding AI into the mix with how well her presentations go and how well her concerts are. But yeah, this character, Hatsune Miku, came out quite a while ago, and they've just continually made her more and more of a brand, and she doesn't even exist. And people are paying $225 to go see a hologram concert. Theo, does this alarm you?
Yeah, it did shock me, Mr. Benja. I was in downtown Orlando this past week. I live in Tampa, it's about an hour and a half away. And I was just staying in a hotel, and yeah, these girls are coming up with the pink hair, just hanging out. And I was like, okay, it's a Comic Con. I get it, cosplay. Look, I'm one of the
Sure.
people. I'm like, oh, it's a Comic Con corner. I was like, oh, okay, it's about people. How
I'm
y'all
down.
doing? I'm down. Hey, kids, I'm down. They said, no, son, this is a holographic. Yeah, this is a hologram concert. This is like with, and they were just like, you could tell they were just in love. You talking about, was it in trust? They were just like fans. They were like, this is who I rock with. And it was like the girl I talked to, she said she almost was like apologetic when she said the artist's name, Atsumi Miku, but she was also like, "Do you like her too?" I was like, "Tatsumi Miku?" I was like, "No." But I was just like, "Man, people are paying that much money and probably traveling." They were staying in a hotel just to go see this concert, man. It's not like a real person. So it's man, we are blurring the lines more and more. The pop artists become more, let's be honest, generated by AI and marketing with their lyrics and the marketing messaging.
Yeah.
And then we're creating virtual images. You heard about that holographic Tupac out there, right?
Yeah.
I think this is probably where it's gonna go, and we talked about this for the first billion. Mr. Beast will be replaced. I hope he's working on this on his own, but he will be replaced by an influencer that is AI generated. That's just my prediction. Because think about it, they can do way more than he can do consistently all
Mhm.
the time. I'm surprised the YouTube's in there is not working on it themselves. Why not?
Yeah, definitely, man. You've got to assume that they've got the R&D and someone's doing it in some office, some lab, some office complex somewhere. But yeah, they don't have anything on the docket to be released. But I can guarantee they're in there trying this stuff out and
Because
working on
if they can create their own AI generated influencer that keeps people on the platform longer and longer so they can make more money in ads, why pay ad revenue to these people anymore?
it. Yeah,
So that's the
exactly.
vision. Because they're getting a lot of revenue to Mr. Beast. But to be fair, he's getting people's eyeballs. And to Mr. Beast's credit, which all creators are starting to do, that have influence and followers, they're creating offline events or they're creating products, physical products they can sell to people because they know there's only a matter of time where that spigot from from these platforms will be turned off,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
exactly. And it's not just a thing that businesses are using to try to get new users. Hey, this is a cute little toy or whatever. All these ideas that we've talked about have started to become part of the real world, the world that we access all the time. I just sent you a little story from The Guardian. I forgot that this actually came up, but basically, Ukraine has unveiled an AI generated foreign ministry spokesperson. What? Yes. So they've got a foreign ministry spokesperson that is an AI generated person. It's this young lady who I'm trying to describe what this bot is, but basically it's a young lady who is AI generated and she's a spokesperson. So I guess if you go to the website and ask questions like, "Hey, how do I find how do I find the nearest taco stand in Ukraine?" And I suppose this AI generated spokesperson will say something. Maybe they want this to be their press ministry of press or whatever. And this AI generated person can just read from all of the documents that they've got in the Ukraine and tell you what's going on. I don't know, but basically, this person has a name too. I called it a person. I called the AI a person.
Yeah, Victoria She, I think that's
Yeah,
what they call her. Yeah. Wow, Mr. Benja, yeah. It's look, I saw this movie one time. It said, "Hey, I didn't think I would be in the future, but here we are." So it's the and this stuff moves pretty fast. People don't
yeah.
realize how fast it's going to go, and so it's the beginning seeds. By 2025, we may see way more virtual influencers out there when the technology gets better and better. So yeah, so I think music is out there, creating making AI images. One thing, AI, since we're talking about AI, I did want to bring this out and put this in the show notes, but I was listening to this article or listening to this podcast recently, and they talked about, hey, when people are thinking about AI, one of the things that's interesting is the data sets. They're saying performance of how employees working or how baseball players performing, that data sets become more and more important. And so like a data set based on performance, it may be more private. So let's say you employer or employee, you may not want your employer to have access to your performance because then they can determine how much they pay you. An
Mhm.
example they
Yes.
gave was like baseball players, right? They know exactly based on biometrics and based on your swing power, how to get more swing efficiency out of you just by looking at video images and making predictive analysis. But the baseball players don't want to give that to the owners because they know they're going to use that to their advantage and be like, okay, let me take your data set and I'll just create my own based on your data. I find a similar player like you and teach them how to do what you're doing. So that the players in their contracts actually say, I don't want my performance data to get access to the owner, right? Or to my manager. So I keep my own performance data. So I know how to get myself better, but that data is not leaking out to anyone else. And
Mm,
the other example was lawyers as well, right? Can lawyers look at data sets of actions that won cases that they try? Basically,
yeah.
there's tons of court records. So now they emulate that and win more cases, but they don't want people to realize like how they improved, what did they do
Yeah.
differently, how did they script stuff. They
Or
want to keep it
even
internal.
yeah, or even if knowing how a certain judge thinks.
Yeah,
Here's how this judge ruled on this judge was his background in X, Y, and Z. So
yeah.
based on all that information, I could basically game the system and work the judge a certain way with all this data I have.
Yeah. So I perceive where people we talked about this before with like Google have access to
Mhm.
your data. I think a lot of folks are realizing any type of metrics that you have, how do you keep it internal to yourself? And there's that the closed system from OpenAI. Facebook has their open AI system. So I'm curious to see how AI is going to evolve when people are going to be like, you know what, I need to have ownership of my own data and my own algorithm because I just don't trust these guys anymore. I think social media has proven that it's not trustworthy. And that's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Do you think AI should be used to create comic books?
Sure, if it's good.
Oh, I was about to say I don't mind AI, like an AI judge. I would actually like, yeah, okay. AI judge said that. Actually, that's a
Yeah.
bad statement. I do mind. Uh, before a lot of stuff, it's like, all right, whatever, just throw the AI at it. But yeah, another story. This AI, a guy online basically called out a comic artist, Andrea Sorrentino. If you search Andrea Sorrentino Twitter, you'll find all kinds of information. But they used AI to create a comic book, and allegedly, I'm looking at this and saying, no, this is AI
Mm,
being used to help make this comic, not just tools like Photoshop and generative fills and things like that, but it's a little interesting just the way this comic book came together. So I don't know. Did you have a chance to look at the
I
evidence, the
did.
pictures? What'd you think?
I did. Sean Case. You always gotta look at the fingers, at least now. It's
Yeah,
gonna get better, but when the fingers are looking deformed, and then they obviously are creating a look for a Joker that we've never seen before. He wearing skinny jeans
yeah,
and 8-pack abs. This may have been modeled off of something. Yeah, yeah, I think so.
yeah. I can guarantee that AI is being used in comic books in general as a tool to help out certain things. Because what you can do is take certain images or maybe loose sketches and have the AI generate data or imagery around that. I could see that happening. And with these comic book artists on such a schedule that they're on, they have to release stuff fast. And stories come in, art comes in, it's like everything has to be done quickly. So I could see them being very, I don't want to say open, but they could get a lot of leverage off of using AI. But of course, it's that type of industry where once you get hit with the AI taboo, the AI mark on you, it's like you got that stank on you forever. It's, hey, aren't you the guy
Mhm.
that did Batman with AI? Get the hell out of my office. They'll come throw confetti and peanut butter on you at Comic Con. That's like the new version of Tar and Feather, by the way. Confetti and peanut butter.
Oh, did not know that. But you mentioned also in the notes that people are putting little funky emojis across all their content, right, on, social medias. But it does feel like a little bit about trying to quell the dam. You're trying to put your hand against the door, and the
Yeah.
rushing floods are coming in, and you're saying, "No, your AI is stuck. You're not coming in, AI." But I don't know what if that's useful for the art community, man. What use is that? Is they have to figure a way to make peace with it because it's just gonna AI will always beat you in quantity, right? And so
Yeah.
it's just a matter, and it's gonna get better and better over time, where it's almost gonna be undistinguishable. So I think artists, and I get it, it's their livelihood, and this is what you spend hours a day to obsess over, or color grading and all that stuff that you do. But I don't know, as an artist, Mr. Benja, how do you not feel threatened? And what should you do so you don't feel like you're just abetting, something that's inevitable that's coming your way anyway?
Whenever change comes, you have to change something. Something has to change. Whether everybody can say, no, we don't like that, like the words in a rap beef, there's if everyone says, no, we don't do this, then you can have that kind of walled off area. But it seems like there are too many cracks in the wall already. Get with the times, find a happy medium, do something that doesn't destroy the art form itself. That's the biggest concern of mine. So keep the art alive and don't be stupid.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Mr. Benja,